Will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Set 60 or.
You don't want none, baby. You don't want none. Hey, you don't want to see me. You don't want it.
Check. Lucky.
Begin.
Ready.
They'll run for the first time with Peyton Barber. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
On second down, it's Barber, and he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Hey, Haywood. Get it.
From the gun on third down, Herbert. Open man has got it. It's complete. A big play there on the catch and run. 56 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard.
Go.
2nd and 1. This is caught, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2. He'll get this to his speedster, Paul Richardson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
And the Redskins first down.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. They'll try the sweep with Elliott. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And he'll take it across midfield to the 46-yard line. He was looking for Paul Richardson there. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 10 yards there and a Buccaneer first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They get this to Smith on the jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Hey, wahoo!
56 to Mike, boys. 56. Check 56. I'm scared.
Look, squeeze.
To throw on 2nd down. Herbert to the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. Now, they tried to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Check, cross, look at me. Go. Under 10, 6'6", pull it high.
Out of the shotgun is Jones. And he'll be taken down well before the 1st at about the 36-yard line. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
It's 4th down.
So on 4th down, on comes the Buccaneer kicker, Matt Gay. And quite a bit of pizza in this box. It's a 53-yard attempt. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And that will make our score 9-0. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Redskins take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the ending, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off...
And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
The play began back at the 23, and they pick up 23.
23 yards. 1st down, Washington.
Set hut. 60 outlaw.
On first down, Ramirez. He's going to sling this deep downfield, and that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. 2nd and 10. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Ramirez now, operating from the gun. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9 at the 43-yard line.
Check, 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 check.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And the Redskins have an extra man in the secondary here on 3rd.
All day, baby, all day, all day.
Bravo!
Cut. Kill.
And ready?
From the gun, Herbert. And that's caught by Smith. 17 yards on the play and a Buccaneer first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
A pretty good looking run there on first down. That'll go for 9 yards, just short of the line to gain. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the Redskins' 29-yard line.
After 1, it's 9-0.
With the score, Buccaneers 9, Redskins 0.
Down. 60 outlaw.
Hey, we're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet.
Yes.
Safety's creeping.
Tight dog.
Hey, one set.
Get it.
On the delay, Jones. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. Actually broke that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
And it's Reuben Foster in on the tackle.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 20-yard line.
On the ready.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Get him. Hey, look.
Now they try the right side here. And his first carry, he loses the football. And this will get out of bounds at the 2-yard line. The Redskins now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Ready?
Right there. 54 miles.
You're out. Go. Now.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great play there. With his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. As the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On 2nd down now. It's Elliott. Power running by Zeke. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards that time and a Washington first. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
Back to throw. Ramirez. And incomplete. A drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended the nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a 2nd one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tress Way to punt it away. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And this will be down just inside the 30-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Operating from the gun, Herbert. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Off the edge, the sack by Matt Ioannidis.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Hey, lock it.
On 3rd down, here comes Barber. And he's able to get up here to the 26. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good-sized run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you've got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Here's Ramirez on first down. Complete. Richardson has it. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. 90, more. Drop the screen.
Looking to throw. Ramirez. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A Redskin first down. The pickup 15 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Ramirez. From the gun, he'll throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Elliott running right. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave them with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
The Bucs with an extra defender now in the secondary here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Ramirez. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Marching in for the sack, Matthew Judon. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yeah, in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. This into the hands of his running back, Ronald Jones. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down.
90 volts. Hey, Delta. Check Mike 54.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's got Smith here. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. First down, Tampa Bay there, a gain of 13. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, a give to Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Hey, exit.
Pick up the ball.
Go on, go on. Get it.
Looking to throw on second down. Herbert, and this one complete to Smith. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. So third down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first.
Got the screen. Jam. 61, matchbox lights. Hey, seam 6. Hey, Sam off.
From the gun, Herbert. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. This is fielded at the 7. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. We'll check on his status when we get back. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. Time remaining for likely one final play. You're on your side of the field, but, heck, maybe you throw one up 50-plus yards, see what happens.
Don't forget that taking the knee is the right play to make because you just get out of there, you regroup, you start over. But if you're going to take the shot, you do have a chance of either making the play happen or picking up a deep pass interference call. And remember, it's the NFL. You get yardage. It's not just a 15-yard play. You could have something big here. Let's see if they take the shot.
So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And this one is right down Broadway. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This fielded at the 2. It'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
At their own 24-yard line.
Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a real, I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give the Redskins 13 there and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his first touchdown of the new season, as his guys are back within a single score. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession, and that was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Come on, set. 15 line. 15 line. Look, squeeze.
Take that.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And he stopped immediately there. The safety, Landon Collins, there to make the tackle. That's a strong safety making a strong, hard tackle.
And we know his coach. Doesn't smile a whole lot, does he? How about that grin right there, ear to ear after that play?
Ready. 18 Gator. Look at me. Go. Please grab it.
To throw on second down. Herbert. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. They'll get 5 on the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a third down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Recon, 132 fighter.
Right there. 56. Get your swarm on. Slams.
Rock it.
Check 24.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. That's taken on the 25.
The Redskins take over first and 10.
Let's go.
At their own 34-yard line.
Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, and then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Ramirez throwing again. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Vernon Hargraves with a pick. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. He was looking for Paul Richardson there. Barber on 1st and 10. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
At the 43-yard line.
Set, ready? 60 outlaw. 54. 5.
Right there. 54.
Shoot.
Operating from the gun. Herbert. It's caught. Smith. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down.
Hey, high 7. You're out. Check 13. 5.
From the gun, Herbert looking downfield for Godwin. And a throw there going to be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed, if there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Here we go.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now a first down carry by Jones. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. He was brought down by Kamu Grugier-Hill. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
X3, 218, chopper. 25, check 25, check 25. Go. Let's go.
Looking to throw. Herbert dancing to his left. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
That's something we have not seen him do to this point, and that's take the ball, tuck it, and run.
Exactly right. His first carry of the game. I guess he picked a good time to do it.
He certainly did. Not only did he have the element of surprise, he's making sure he's judicious in taking off.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 16, first down Tampa Bay. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. On the counter, here's Jones. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 15 yards as Tampa Bay picks up the first.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Hey, lock it. Topper.
Check. Undercrunch. Watch the edge.
Sponge. No. Deep grip.
They'll run on first down. Barber. And give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Watch 54. Hard. General West.
They'll run it with Jones. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. On first down, Barber. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Now Jones. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Calling no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. The Bucs on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 14. Operating from the gun, Herbert. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
How did he do that? How did he do it? I mean, in this type of weather, it's not just catching it, it's seeing it coming towards it. Maybe that's why he ended up having to go one-handed, but boy, what a catch.
That was a spectacular one-handed grab. So his 2nd field goal of the game, and that could turn out to be the big one.
Yeah, you have to make them score twice to beat you, and that's not impossible. But here in the 4th quarter, puts their backs clearly against the wall.
The Redskins take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and beat.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Shaquille Barrett put that sack by his name in the stat sheet. That's number 4, sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, and especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to him.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Carlton Davis picks it, and he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
A run there on 1st down and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there, and I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory, and as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a show, do you?
No, you really don't, because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it, because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think you may want to keep them cranking high right here.
Here's Jones. He'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Check. There.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Herbert, that's caught by Howard. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Check 37. Check 3.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Ronald Jones, his first touchdown here of the new campaign as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. Throwing the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 46. He was looking for Paul Richardson there. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here.
Hey, I'm coming. He's crossing. He's checking cross.
They go back to the ground, this time Barber. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Man up, D.
From the gun, Herbert being chased out left. He can run for it, and he will. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Gain of 9 that time on the scramble, 1 yard shy of the marker, and it brings up 4th. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. Gay's kick is good. And that will stretch the lead up to 3 touchdowns now. It's a 21-point game. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Elliott. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up fourth down.
It's now fourth down.
Now Ramirez throwing on fourth down. And he's got his man on the out route. But he will be stopped behind the line as he will not come close to the marker. Trying to defend the out route there, got the PI call.
And you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. And he got caught in between and created a foul.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
On second down, Elliott. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 10 yards there, good for a Redskin first down. So fire the cannons. It's a victory here for Tampa Bay. And when you break it down, this was just a thoroughly dominating performance.
And I truly thought that we'd have a tight game coming into this one. I think you felt the same way based on our conversation after the production meeting. But obviously not the case. And how about just how it broke open? You just all of a sudden, whoosh, there it is. This thing is pretty much done. And the crowd stayed with it to celebrate because they're like, let's enjoy watching our team play this well. This is fun.
So for the Buccaneers, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Redskins, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves